we're now joined by CEO of the Dr. Chinua Farisani Foundation, Kenneth Mathivha, and he joins us now via our video link. Kenny, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. Now, I mean, just looking at some of the cases coming out from that VBS Mutual Bank story, it seems as if, municipalities here are being prioritized. What are depositors saying to you when it comes to, recouping some of their savings in which, was with the VBS Mutual Bank?
Thank you very much, Mbali, for taking us this evening. Yes, indeed. We, as the Chinua Farisani Foundation, we've become friends with the minority shareholders. And we have met with several stakeholders since last year. We have met with the depositors. More than 400 of those have not yet got their monies back. And indeed, the sentiments that are shared by the chairperson of the minority shareholders, Mr. Madambi, is very true. And those are the sentiments we share, that the curator or the distributor, what they are doing is a good job. They've started recouping the monies, but they're not communicating with the minority shareholders. They see these things on television, they hear these things on radio, they read in the newspapers that there's money that is being distributed. And if we can solve that first part, then we will be very far.
And the liquidator, they're also trying to clarify in terms of why they have taken this route in terms of, repaying or paying back monies which were owed by VBS Mutual Bank. But the question still remains, when it comes to why this route, and like you're saying, that this is not being communicated to shareholders, minority shareholders, as well as the depositors.
Indeed, that's the mystery that we are seated with. One of the things is that, yes, the municipalities, and as she says, through the Act, they need to distribute to those stockpiles and the creditors and the municipalities. But what is quite interesting is that when they distributed this, and it was said that Wembe District Municipality got 38 million or something around that, or 80 million, Tulamela and other municipalities. The municipalities themselves were even confused as to what they're going to do with the money because they didn't expect it. But here's a poor woman who sells in the market. We see them every day around Thohoyandou. They're waiting for their only 10,000, their 50,000. There's a businessman here who lost not less than 10 million. He's been waiting forever. His business has collapsed. And that's what concerns us as Chinua Farisani Foundation.
Are individuals or minority shareholders being given the assurance that, there is a possibility that they may get some of their life savings from the VBS Mutual Bank?
I think I had the spokesperson of the liquidators saying there's a possibility they may not. And that's very, very serious if she's saying that. But they should communicate this to the minority shareholders. We hold meetings every time and we talk to them. And yes, we have approached the provincial government, as you heard the Premier speaking. We have approached the ruling party, the ANC in the province, and all of them assured us that they are going to approach the liquidator and they're going to do everything possible to make sure that people get their money. But the years are going by, and now we're being told the Act says you must first distribute to this one and that one and not this one. But what about the poor person? Because our understanding is that the municipalities and the big shots, they got this themselves. The bank was running very fairly with the minority shareholders until there was interference from these people that are appearing in court in the past month, in the past weeks. And we're happy that the law enforcement agencies seem to be working now. And we're seeing convictions, we're seeing people will be paying back the money. But to say the Act does not or may not pay the minority shareholders, that's a slap in the face.
And when we see reports of this nature, particularly from the liquidators themselves, I mean, what does this then do to minority shareholders and some of the depositors in some instances who have, now don't have their life savings with them anymore? And they were clinging on to some sort of hope that, soon they will also be able to recoup some of their losses. And what does then this do to the morale of those who have lost their money?
Let me paint you a picture. When the bank collapsed those few years ago, some of the poorest of the poor who had taken their children to university, there's a university closer here in Toyando, and some had taken them to other universities in the country, lost everything, and they couldn't take their children to school. Some were fortunate to get bursaries and NSFAS, but this is a livelihood. When a village person has got 2 cows and you take 1 cow, you have paralyzed that person, because that's the riches that they've saved all their lives. These are life savings, as the word denotes. And some of the parents have since died, and they've left their grandchildren and their children with the hope, obviously, that one day life will return back to normal. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be normal again.
And what is your appeal now, to the Limpopo government, to the ANC, and as well as the liquidators who are handling this matter?
You see, there's a bank that was going to be following on the footsteps of VBS Bank, Itala Bank in the KwaZulu-Natal. The government, probably in the hindsight, has risen to the occasion, and they've saved, or they're still trying to save that bank. Now that the VBS happened many years ago, and we are in this process, we do hope, as we negotiate with the provincial government, we have met with the Premier, we've met with the Secretary of the ANC in the province, and some of the leaders in the national government are trying to assist. And it is our prayer, honestly, it's our prayer that the poorest of the poor can then be given what is left for them.
All right, Kenny Mathivha, thank you so much for your time this evening, and certainly for that insight. That is CEO of the Dr. Chinowani Farisani Foundation, speaking to us there about the developments coming out of the now defunct VBS Mutual Bank, and of course some of the public outcry from some of the depositors as well as those minority shareholders complaining around the prioritization of municipalities as well as certain groups like Stockville's.